No one could quite predict what he would actually do. He didn't fit the mold of a politician, nor did he embody the cold calculation of an economist. Javier Milei was like a turning point in Argentina's complex and turbulent history. But this story began with a strange and shocking event that took place after he was elected president. In August 2024, Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, was cloaked in an eerie silence. The economic crisis was no longer just wearing down people's daily lives, it was draining their spirits. Overnight, the dollar suddenly doubled in value. Before people could even understand what was happening, they rushed to ATMs and markets. The television stations were silent. There was no statement from the government. On social media, only one phrase was circulating: "The savior is coming." It was at that moment that Javier Milei held a mysterious press conference, but this was no ordinary briefing. The room was dark. A single spotlight illuminated the stage, and on that stage, there was only a table, with an old book on it, Human Action by Ludwig von Mises. Milei began to speak, pointing to marked pages in the book. The most striking sentence in his speech was, "There is no state anymore. From now on, the only thing that exists for you is you and this book." Journalists in the room were stunned. Shortly afterward, it was announced that government offices across Argentina were closed, most public employees were dismissed, and the central bank was effectively dissolved. Milei had launched the experiment of a stateless nation. This was a first not only for Argentina, but for world history. But the real events erupted just 3 days later. The American and European media declared that Argentina was out of control. Investors pulled their money out of the country. People living at the poverty line took to the streets. Yet, interestingly, in some cities, the opposite happened. In Rosario, with state intervention removed, neighborhoods organized themselves. Marketplaces based on barter systems emerged. People were shopping without paying taxes for the first time and setting new rules with their neighbors. This movement, dubbed Milei's Liberty Experiment, quickly spread to other cities. Then one night, a mysterious explosion rocked a suburb of Buenos Aires. The city was plunged into darkness. For 2 days, no electricity. And to this day, no one knows exactly what happened during those 2 days. But when the power returned, Milei appeared on screens once again. His eyes were bloodshot from lack of sleep. His voice had a tone no one was used to. "Freedom only gains meaning when its price is paid," he said. Behind him was a large map, the old borders of Argentina erased, replaced with new zones. The country was now divided into 5 free zones. Each was free to define its own currency and system. Some called this decision anarchy. Others claimed they were witnessing the greatest social experiment in human history. But the story didn't end there. A month later, a mysterious briefcase was found in the center of Buenos Aires. Inside were documents suggesting that Argentina's radical transformation had been foreseen years earlier by the CIA, IMF, and a Swiss-based think tank. Milei's name was mentioned explicitly. Allegedly, he had been selected years ago for a special project to test whether a stateless economy could function in the world. The claim divided the country. Some said he was a puppet. Others called him a revolutionary. But one truth remained. From that day forward, the world was no longer the same. Milei had placed dynamite under the very foundation of the system, the concept of the state. And those who supported him understood something. If the system collapses, a new order can be born. To this day, the impact of these events is still being felt. No one truly knows what happened in Argentina. But one thing is certain. Javier Milei was not just a president. He asked the greatest question of modern times. Do we really need the state? And perhaps it won't be us who answers that question, but history itself.